I think if we don't take that opportunity, we're just missing it. It's our opportunity to make a difference with the kids, and I like saying with the kids because now I sound like an old guy, like Tinker. When you're first to do something, okay, there's a number attached to everything. I mean, if you're a public company and you're beholden to the investors, there's a number attached to everything. But it also gives you the right to be the first and profitable in promoting that product and saying, we're the first here. Don't be don't wait. Now everybody join in. So I'd say the profit money part is over here, and we didn't lose money on it. And but it took a lot of effort to get there. But the profit for me, I think, was really, and the suits recognize this, is being able to be first, change the mindset, and set the first foot forward, and then say, that's a good enough idea that we adopt it across the entire brand. Yeah, it's not about the shoe being profitable, it's about us being really mindful about moving forward. We're careful not to put too much into their heads because we don't want to sidetrack them from just putting those points in the basket. That's your job. My thing is not to distract you with all this information, but it's like eating great food. Like when you eat great food and you taste it and you go, by the way, that was grown right here. You go, oh, dang, okay, now I'm putting 2 and 2 together, and it becomes part of the norm. And so I'd say, yeah, the majority of people are people who are buying, thousands and thousands of these pairs, and they're benefiting from it. I mean, it has to work first, so it's a performance piece. But yeah, the athletes also do have, and I know Michael does, he's got the duality. He flies in a personal jet, but he does say, look, I want my brand to stand for something too. I don't want to just take. I want this to mean something. And he's extremely interested and involved in that part of the brand. So I'd say representative of many of the athletes, yeah. But most people are benefiting from it by purchasing. I'll say this, I know that as soon as we set the benchmark, I think, I can't remember if it was Mercedes or if it was BMW, but as soon as anti-lock brakes came out and they said, look, we developed this, but everybody should benefit from this, it became kind of a non-issue. It's like, hey, use this. It's everything from glue compounds and rubber compounds and plastic compounds, all the way to, I think on this one we even, normally they'll take a brush and swath a whole surface, and we said, well, let's just take a roller and put dots on it and you get the same adhesive, all the way around. We figured, why hold that from everybody? I mean, that's the right thing to do. I mean, ultimately, sustainability is not about me benefiting from it only for myself. And it's really about everybody benefiting from it. So I think, to answer your question, I'd say probably somebody else could do a better job of it, but I know that from a corporate standpoint, we said it's the right thing to do, and so let's utilize it across the globe.
And just to throw in my 2 cents, I know that brands throughout the action sports space use that as a baseline metric, and then try to evaluate and figure out where they fit in, what their specialties are. And I think, Rose, you've used it with your students at Otis as well.
You should come on up.
No, actually, I kind of wanted to ask you a question.
Hey, Rose, come use this.
Oh, I kind of wanted to ask you a question, actually.
Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Rose Brantley, and I'm the chair of fashion design at Otis College of Art and Design for about 30 years, forever. And one of the things that I saw this incredible program recently, and it was actually about the person who invented the Dyson vacuum cleaner, interestingly enough. And he was on literally a long speech about, that was one of the most profound things I've ever heard, and it was about how we have to really completely rethink the way we think about making anything creatively, whether it be a garden or a shoe, that we have to be prepared to now start not measuring people and students and learning by everything that's right as A, B, C, D, but that really we should start grading people on mistakes. That it is, and in fact, I was wondering the whole time he was telling his story, I kept thinking, how many mistakes had to happen to finally get to this incredible thing? Because I know it must have been a lot, right?
At least 2.
Yeah, at least 2. So at any rate, I thought it was, it's a very compelling way to think, because I think that mostly in this country, we're in a position to rethink how we think in every kind of way. And I was thinking also the whole time that I've been here at this incredible place, that it was about a couple of years ago that I decided that my rather Hawaiian-esque water drinking garden in Hollywood, California, where I live, needed to really I might attempt to make it drought resistant. And I've been working at that for 3 years, and the whole thing is happening through one mistake after another after another. And I find that no matter how many books I read about plants, it's really just when I get down there and see that it has to move from here to over there, and I have to put this in the soil to make it better, and even my garden is all about mistakes.
That's awesome. You brought up two things that I'll kind of close on. Or more questions are fine, but the thing about mistakes, and I adopted this many, my parents just said I was accident prone. And I took that as a kid to be a bad thing. And I give it to my kids as a good thing. So I say, you are accident prone. You are gonna find out what the hell you're supposed to be, and it's gonna be a fun ride. So I have a term, or a phrase that I say, mistakes are the right thing to do for something else. There are no bad mistakes. And I've adopted that, and there were so many things that I can't even point out, but that we learned on this one and every one of them that we apply to different things. It's you put it away, you go, it didn't work for this, but you know what? Geez, I can't wait to get done with this so I can apply this mistake to something else. So that's number one. And number two was the object of desire, or the thing that you just, no matter whether you collect it or whether you put it on and play in it, and I should have said it the other way around, playing it. We just want to try and create things, and I say this personally too, is just that you just don't want to throw away. It's not going to go in a landfill, and you're going to have a closet full of shoes, and there are people who do that for the closet full of shoes, but if you do it mindfully and you do it right, and it becomes something that you're just proud to have, and it's as a designer, I'm an aesthetic kind of driven person, and you look at it and go, God, that's really cool. You feel bad, even if I think they look better the older they get, by the way, and the more that you use them. They just have this, it's like a good old car. It's not going to go in the landfill. Landmine. I don't know it's time for drinks. What else? Anybody else? Yes.
Yeah. So when you're working on a project like that, and you get a lot of time, but are you singularly focused on just that project, or are you juggling other projects and then trying to get to this when you can, and this is your baby, but you're,
What do you think? It sounds fantastic. No. It becomes, and I'll say it's both actually. It's yes. The answer is yes. When it's in front of you, it's like just anything else that you do where you need singular focus. If I get an hour in my day where I can sit there and work with somebody or on my own, it is the only thing that's in my head. You have to clear, and you have to be able to separate. But yeah, those moments are fleeting, and usually it's at home on the weekends, and when you can really break it down, and that's the only thing. But I think what's really good about it, and it's part of one of the mistakes, is very fortunate to have 1,000 things going on at one time, and each of them actually informs the next. And so, to me, I would never want to just be able to, I think I'd go nuts, and then, or even more so, and then I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could just sit there for a week and just work on one thing. I should probably try it. I think my wife would appreciate that.
Well, I think that was one of the conversations that we had in the garden, was this generalist skill set, which kind of feels like it's balanced. Right, and that kind of informs what it would be a balanced designer.
Well, the balanced designer part is being able to kind of take all the issues that you need and have them transform and kind of generate into a product. But then right now in my life, I've been just saying, as a creative director, it's being able to kind of zoom out of that and go, okay, I'm not going to play designer on this. It's now how do I put it together with the apparel? How do I tell the great story in the backpack at retail? How do I tell a consistent story that everybody understands and gets? And do it in a mindful way, and is that logo big enough? And if it's not big enough on that one, should it be bigger on the other? Take the circle off this one, and put it in this board meeting. It's like all those things, if you can balance any of those things, and it's 1,000 things at once, then it does become kind of the complete opposite. It becomes everything is all about that. If that's not right, it's the balance. So it's a creative conundrum. It's a tightrope. Because if you go out and promote something as sustainable and this is going to last you for the rest of your life, you're going to spot clean forever. You never have to throw it in a wash. Or there you go. If that's your message, in our industry specifically, it dilutes the message of what we built it for. So we built this basketball jersey to be the lightest, most breathable thing that's going to let you fly just a little bit longer and get you to the basket. Now, I don't have a problem in that side corner saying, oh, by the way, it happens to be made out of Coke bottles and it reduced the landfill. I don't mind that. I think if you go out and say, this is the most sustainable first, you know, as an athletic company, at least in our case, it becomes a little skewed. The conversation becomes a little skewed, and you lose what we're really there to do. And so it becomes just doing the right thing, but messaging maybe in the back pocket or off to the side a little bit. Because for us, it's very clear. This is what these are for athletes, and they're here to make you perform at your peak. I don't think it's very clear when you go out there and you say this running shoe is the most sustainable. I think it goes back to the previous question. I think it's mindful that we do it, and I think it's mindful that people understand that it's part of our operating procedure. But if I think again it would cloud, you know, if you get the best running shoe and it's the lightest and you can run 26.2 miles in the shortest amount of time. You know, after about 25 miles, you don't care if it was like made out of the best stuff or not. You just want to get across. So really what we're there to do is like make sure that, hey, this is the best. And by the way, I think that's probably the best way to describe it. So in closing, I'm getting it's time to go. You're going to miss your airline flight. Work together, have a good time. I appreciate the opportunity to come quietly speak with you this evening and do good stuff. I think that's it. Just do good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. You know, these are almost selfish endeavors. We just like to bring our family together, our friends, into our little courtyard here, a little powwow with the people that inspire us. So hopefully that was equally inspiring to you as it was to us. Please cruise around. There's still light. There's some new things happening, and hope to see you guys soon. Food and drink. Enjoy yourself. You don't have to go home. Stay here. Bye. Thank you.